Hi, my name is Milan, and today I want to show you how I made this sound that you just heard on the Elektron Digitone. The sound is kind of a Moogish lead or bass sound that was inspired by Stephan Bodzin and his use of the Sub 37. And yeah, I've used this sound in my last techno jam, which I linked up somewhere here. And some people were reaching out and asking me how I did it. So this is what I want to show you today. And yeah, let's get right into it. On track number 3, I have a new sound that is empty. And the first thing that we want to do is head over to the unison menu and change the locked voices to 1, because this sound is in mono, and if you're a Digitone user like me, who always struggles with voice management, this is something you'll really appreciate, because you will have 7 voices to use on your other tracks and just 1 voice for this sound. Then we want to go to the sound setup and set the filter key track to 0, because we don't want the cutoff to match the pitch of the plate notes. Then we want to go over to the portamento and set the portamento type to legato only to achieve the smooth glide sound that we want for this particular sound. And then we want to go to the octave and set the octave to -3. It's pretty low right now. You might not even hear it if you're not wearing headphones, but this is so we don't need to adjust the octave with the arrows here in the main menu. Then we want to go to the trick menu and set the portamento to on, and then adjust the glide time. I like it somewhere around 75. I think this is fine, but this can of course be adjusted to taste. Then before we go to synth page number 1, let's go to synth page 2 and bring up the operator B so that we can hear it. For this sound, something around 85 is fine to use. And by the way, we won't use operator A for this sound, and we won't adjust the envelope because we want the B sound to stay at that level. Okay, let's go to synth page number 1. And the first thing that we want to do is to change the algorithm to algorithm number 2. And this way we can look at the synth kind of like a subtractive synth. So we can treat the X and the Y over here like an oscillator 1 and an oscillator 2. This is, by the way, a trick I've seen by a YouTuber called Ivar Triti. I hope I pronounce him right. He has some really fantastic stuff on his YouTube channel all around the Digitakt, the Digitone, and lately the Octatrack as well. Some really cool jams, some tutorials. You should definitely go check him out. It's really, really cool. Yeah, this way that we set this one to algorithm number 2, we will have on the X only the carrier C, which is this note, and if we mix it over to Y, we'll just hear the operator B. But for this sound, we want them both together. So I'll set the mix to 0. Okay, then we want to change the ratio of carrier C to 6. I'll lower the octave. So yeah, this is closer to the sound that we want to achieve in the end. And yeah, we'll use the carrier C to be kind of like our 5th overtone to our bass tone for this sound. We won't change the ratio of our operator B, but we're going to go to the harmonics and make our C carrier a saw wave. And this can be achieved by turning the sound somewhere between -6 and -7 is just fine for that, to have the carrier C to sound like a saw wave. And then we want to go to the detune and and bring this one up, and you'll really hear how the sound gets more movement when we bring it up. I think around 70 should be fine. This can of course adjust it to taste. Stephan Bodzin also uses the detune on his Sub 37 during his sets to tweak the sound while he's playing it. You can of course do this as well. It's great fun, and you will achieve, the higher you go, some really crazy results. You can of course also use an LFO for that to modulate the detune, but we'll leave it for now at around 70. Then let's go to the feedback and bring this one up to make our operator B a little bit more beefy. Yeah. Around 30 is fine for that. Okay. Then we head over to our filter section, and first I want to bring down the frequency cutoff. Let's leave it somewhere around here for now. You can of course open and close the filter cutoff to taste while you're jamming with the sound. This is really nice to give the sound some movement. You can of course also adjust an LFO to that. I like to do it by hand to have more control over the sound, just up to your taste. The resonance I like around 25, not too high. And let's also give it some filter envelope. Somewhere here is nice. I like to give it a little longer decay time. Yeah. I think around here is just fine. And what I like to do is to go to the second filter page and just cut a little bit of the bass frequencies using the second filter. I just use it to adjust the low end a little bit, that it doesn't interfere with the kick too much when I have it playing in the track. You can of course do that also to your taste. If you want to use the sound more like a lead sound, you might want to cut a little bit more of the low frequencies. But let's leave it around 20 for now. All right. Now let's go to the most important page, the amplitude page, and give it a short attack. Sustain all the way up, and then short release time, around 10 is fine. Now, most importantly, the drive. Yeah, and now you can really hear the sound coming to life. I crank the drive all the way up. You can of course do this to taste, but I really like it when it's distorted that much. Then we're nearly done actually. You can go to the second amp page and put some effects on the sound. I like to put a little bit of chorus on it to make the sound a little bit wider. Much. Yeah, I think this is fine. And then of course you can give it some delay and reverb as well. can achieve really, really nice effects with that. But you may want to adjust your effect settings for that. I, for example, used a high-pass filter here on the chorus and on the delay and on the reverb as well. This is just that the effects don't affect the low frequencies too much and make them too muddy. But if you change the effect settings over here, you may keep in mind that these settings will also affect the other tracks as well. And yeah, that's basically it. That's how you make this sound. If you have any ideas for using LFOs on this, because as you can see, I'm not using any of them, but if you have some ideas for some really cool LFO settings, just let me know. I'm always happy to improve the sounds. Yeah, I hope you found this one useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.